Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season X. We are here for round 21 out of 22. It's the Qatar Grand Prix. We have 12 in at the moment. We should be expecting minimum 2 more and maybe a third one, depending how things go in qualifying. The penultimate race of the season. And yeah, we should be waiting for Drifting to join. He was in the lobby and then left. So hopefully he'll join back and get in his car. And then Dello as well. He'll join during qualifying. And he has a qualifying ban to serve, so he will start at the back. And then Sombra might join. He said last night he might be able to make it during qualifying, so we'll just find out from there. But yeah, qualifying's underway then, under the night sky. The second of 3 night races to conclude the season: Vegas, Qatar and Abu Dhabi. And it could be a big night for a few, mainly for specifically one, as we see Chubbs exiting the pit lane, and it was confirmed Ferrari are the Tier 2 Season X Constructors Champions. They won it last time out in Las Vegas with a great result from Chubbs to getting second. Sam in the end ending up P6 once the order was re-established. But yeah, I guess we may as well waste no time. Joshua Hewitt heads into Qatar today on the verge of becoming world champion. He miraculously won from P18 on the grid last week, last to first with a qualifying ban. It was a champion's drive, and now heading in to the penultimate race, he is on the verge of claiming that title and making it official. So he won the race. Chubster finished second, like I said. Eggy finished third. Eggy is unfortunately not racing today. He finished fourth. Sombra finished fourth. Frosty finished fifth, and Sam was classified as sixth. Ridian in his last race did crash over the line, but his car did make it past the line, so we did classify him as 7th. It was a pain to work out, as there we go, there's drifting. So yeah, a manic race that didn't actually see too much change. It was just the Dello and Adam incident that was lag, but also more Dello's fault, which is why he's got a penalty to serve today. There we go, there's Dello. That should make it 14 minimum. Right. So, that was Vegas, with one championship wrapped up, as Drifting's in his car now. We head to Qatar, where the other championship could potentially be wrapped up. We thought, for the last several weeks, this is surely going down to the wire, and then probably the biggest race, in terms of change of the season, happens last week of Vegas, where Josh Hewitt has a 19-point lead, the biggest lead margin any driver has had this season. Yes, it's always stayed under that margin throughout these 20 races. 19 points, and then there was one point in the season where Josh led at 18 points, but that's it. The only other highest margin was 13 points, as we see Birdie Saints go 200ths off Josh Hewitt's medium time on the softs. Warren on the hard, so 3 different compounds for the top 3 at the moment. But yeah, going back to what I said, Josh Hewitt then leads by 19 points. If he wins tonight, he is champion. It's simple as that. He needs to outscore Sam by 7 points, as Adam now goes to the top of the table. He needs to outscore Sam by 7 points, and he needs to outscore Drifting by 5 points. 4 points, because if Drifting is 25 behind Josh and they're level, Josh still wins. If Sam is 25 points behind Josh and they're level, Sam wins, because Sam has an extra second place to Josh. They both have the same amount of... well, if Sam obviously won Abu Dhabi, they would have the same amount of wins. Sam would have 1 more P2, and they would have the same amount of P3s. So yeah, outscore Drifting by 4 points, outscore Sam by 7 points. And the best way to do that is by winning the race, with the gap between first and second being 7 points. But it's a Haas front row at the moment. Haas have been electric in this second half of the season. They've been really strong in qualifying and the race. Adam obviously getting his first win a couple weeks ago in Brazil. Frosty Life, who's been on tremendous form in qualifying and getting those solid top 5 finishes. It'd be great to see him back up there right at the top for pole position. But a 22.0 is currently the time to beat. So yeah, for Josh Hewitt, he's got it pretty much under control then. 19 points, 2 races. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get caught up in too much. As for Drifting and Sam, they've got to give it absolutely everything. So, riding on board with Drifting to start his lap then, blasting his battery down into turn 1. He's going to get a little bit of a slip from the RB ahead of Bluey, and he might actually indeed catch Bluey on this lap due to the pace deficit, as he's made his way round the long sweeping right-hander of 1 to the sweeping left-hander of 2. Power on, battery on, and 3 is just easily flat. Looks like Bluey might be getting out the way then of Drifting, just about. Little double correction there into 4 and 5 as he finishes the first sector split. It's a 31.0 heading into the hairpin, and you can see those multiple inputs he's putting in. Struggling a little bit on his first banker run, but I'm sure he'll get 1 or 2 more to smoothen out those mistakes. Making his way through the middle sector then. A lot of these corners just easily flat. So close to invalidating there on the exit. And a loss of thought can obviously lead you to invalidations. We're into the 21s with Stelios putting a 21.7 on the board as Drifting's making his way through the right-handers. Now darting left. So easy to invalidate, but he's kept it within track limits brilliantly. Round the final corner then, sharp to the inside, taking a lot of curb. He's somehow just kept that within the confines. And DRS Open across the line then, it's a 23.5. And it looks like he was struggling quite a bit there. Still waiting for Zach in his second race. Bluey, I think about to begin a lap now. Yonder out there as well, invalidated. Hopefully he'll have better connection this time round. Samuel asking Bluey what was that? Maybe he got held up, because currently they're 7th and 8th, while Josh on mediums is 4th. And we know Josh is pretty good around here at Qatar. It was just his warnings and maybe his fuel that was the issue. Fuel won't probably be an issue now. You can easily learn from that. But warnings and time pens are going to be quite a big thing. Considering safety cars around here are quite low in terms of the chances for one, it really is very important to stay within the train, not make any mistakes, don't get caught up in incidents. As Chubster now, who, like he has said in the second half, maybe his pace has fallen off a little bit, but bit by bit in the last few weeks we've seen glimpses up there. Good qualifyings, finishing second last time out, and he's now on his second run in qualifying. So yeah, at the moment Stelios looking good for provisional pole. Let's see what Chubster can do. Into turn 4 and 5, sweeping over the curbs. This part of the track is going to be a minefield of warnings come the race. 30.3. I believe that's already 7/10 quicker than what Drifting managed in the first sector. So I don't know if that's just battery related or wings related, or maybe because Bluey held him up a little, but that is quite the gap. On the exit at the end of the second sector split, we'll find out what it is. Usually it's around 58 seconds, 57.8, 3/10 up now for Chubster, which can get him above Birdie. Oh my god, that was so close to invalidating. Across the line for Yonder to go P9. Chubster's kept it valid. 1 corner to go then, as Adam's beginning his lap. Round the final corner for the Ferrari. And across the line, it will be a 1 minute 22.2 to put himself on the second row and split the 2 Haas cars. Now we see what Adam can do in response with 8 minutes to go. Joshua out there on the softs as well, gearing up. Drifting currently invalidated, nearly 2/10 down. Adam, first sector split, 30.3, 3/10 up. And he's currently going to need to find another 10th and a half if he wants to snatch back provisional pole from Stelios. Very wide there on the exit of turn 7, I believe. So close to the curbs and the white lines. He's got a McLaren in front of him who probably shouldn't do any bother in terms of being an eyesore, but also in terms of slipstream. I think he's too far away. He is half a second up at the moment, and this is enough to take back provisional pole away from Stelios as long as he keeps it valid through the final couple corners, which he has. One corner to go then for Adam. He's on the limit, and it looks like it's going to reward him. And across the line for the Haas, and it is by 8 thousandths provisional pole. But I'm pretty sure Stelios will soon be responding. Frosty Life down in the first sector with a 0.4 to his teammates' 0.3. The middle sector, he's still down by nearly a tenth. And he's going to need to find a lot in the last sector. But you can see on his steering wheel the battery he has left. And he can maybe deploy it towards the line to find some time. He's giving absolutely everything, but it's too much. And it's over the curb for number 5. So he will have to either go into the pit lane and go again. And he just about darts last second into the pit lane. Now we see the championship leader. What has he got in the locket? Round the final corner for the bright green Sauber. On the verge of making history tonight. But it's all important qualifying first. And across the line for Josh Hewitt to put himself on provisional pole. It's a 21.5 as Dello has joined. His teammate, well, it's going to be a Sauber sandwich at the moment. One's in first, one's in last. And what about his two championship rivals? Sam still in the pit lane, down in 9th. The qualifying master in the first half of the season. 5 poles. And drifting can always spring a lap together right at the end. But it just seems like around this track, they are struggling. Look at that, Zach's up there in 6th. And Frosty Life, I'm sure, will respond, but looks like he hasn't. I mean, it looks like he's on a push lap now. He's certainly on a push lap now. A 30.2 in the first sector. So Stelios fighting back. And at the moment, he's already up on enough time to take back provisional pole away from Josh Hewitt. A little bit of a lock-up there. Second time in this lap. Really on the limit for the Red Bull. Finishing the middle sector split now. And he's still up by just under 2 tenths. But look, that's 5 thousandths of delta between him and Josh Hewitt. This is going to be very close indeed between the Red Bull and the Sauber. Who's going to prevail then? It's Stelios, Josh Stelios. And he's just kept it valid. And he's now going to blast everything he has left. Shortest run to the line. 21.5 is the time to beat. It's a 21.6. He lost some time right at the end there. 4.5 minutes. And the top two separated by less than 8 hundredths. Like yonder into the pit lane. Drifting. He's getting a bit of a slipstream, but he is invalidated. We can just see how much time there is in that first sector. He found nearly half a second, as we see. That's Birdie just getting out of the way there. Not impeding him, really, because he's obviously on an invalid lap. The two RBs. Bluey, invalidated, as I think he was just about to start a lap. As Warren goes P10 to knock his teammate outside the top 10. Dello will serve his qualifying ban now as he exits the pit lane in front of Adam, who just has to avoid that. Looks like Dello was a bit too early on the brakes. And he decided to park up. There we go, at turn 1. Get out of people's way. Nathan's got a lot of gravel on his tyres. One of the only two to not set a lap, and will be the only person not to set a lap soon when Dello gets disqualified. Which will be now, hopefully. Anyway, Nathan back into the pit lane, so I think he has enough time to go one more time. There we go. Dello serves his qualifying ban. He will be last. So yeah, 5 poles to Sam's name this season as he exits the pit lane. 5 poles to Enric, who went up to tier 1. Josh Hewitt's had 3 poles this season. Stelios has had 2 poles this season. So Stelios chasing a 3rd, Josh chasing a 4th. Drifting has had 2 poles this season. Sombra's had 2 poles. The last 2 races he's been on pole, but he's not here at the moment. And Chubster obviously had the China pole when Josh had a 5-place grid penalty, so Chubster inherited his one and only pole position at the moment. So they've exited the pit lane for their final runs. It looks like Adam is about to begin his, keeping on the left, on the curb, will dart into turn 1 as his teammate exits the pit lane. This is Adam's last chance then. 2 and a bit minutes to go for the Haas. Never been on pole position before. Has had a win in that glorious Brazil race a fortnight ago. He's got to give it absolutely everything if he wants pole position, and he really is giving it everything on the limit through all the curves, finishing the first sector split. 30.3 has found quite a bit of time. Not quite in the 2s though, like we saw the top 2. So he's still got to dig deep and find some more delta. Everyone else either in the pits or on an outlap at the moment. Drifting, exiting the pits now. 1 minute 43 to go. Josh gearing up. Same with Stelios. Adam making his way through the middle sector. A little bit of a lock-up. As he sees the second sector split coming up. Warren is out of the session. P10 at best. Adam has found the time, but he's still lacking about 17 thousandths is the Haas. So he's really got to push it on the limit through the penultimate corner. He's kept it within track limits. He's got a McLaren right in front of him that could either hinder him or give him a bit of slipstream to finish his lap. Adam will take every little bit he can get, and across the line for the Haas, it is a 21.5 to take pole position by 100th. And it looks like that slipstream from yonder did in fact help and make the difference. So at the moment, Adam is on pole for the first time. Now it's over to the championship leader to give it absolutely everything. And Frosty Life as well. Don't discount him. As Stelios is still about to start his lap. Josh Hewitt through the first sector then. Has he found any time or is he down? He's down by nearly a 10th with a 30.4. Such close margins. So Frosty into the first sector. 30.3. He's found a little bit of time as well. Bluey P12 at best. Nathan's still in the pit lane. So it looks like RB will be 12th and 13th. Drifting rounds the final corner. It looks like he might be the last car to cross the line. I mean, we still have Zach and Birdie. So maybe they will be. Depends if Birdie makes it to the flag. Josh Hewitt down by a 10th and a half in the middle sector. It looks like this isn't going to be pole position for the championship leader. Stelios making his way into the first sector split as well. Has he found any time? Can he challenge? He's down slightly. Birdie, that's it. He didn't make the flag. Sam L out of nowhere gets onto pole position. And that was such a crucial lap. And for the first time in so many weeks, Sam L is on pole. But who can challenge him? Frosty Life's invalidated. He will be 5th at best. So it's only Stelios who can maybe deny him. Look how close that top 3 is. And Stelios could make it even closer. Has he found time? Unbelievable! What a middle sector from the Red Bull. And now it looks like he's certainly going to snatch back pole position right at the end, as long as he can keep it within the confines of the last 2 corners. That was so crucial for Sam, and we're still waiting for Drifting as well. But what about Stelios then? Looking to take his 3rd pole of the season, and it's going to be a great lap to put himself back on pole. A 21.1. What a lap from Stelios. What a lap from Sam right at the end there. And Josh Hewitt demoted to the 2nd row. Now we see what the other championship protagonists can do. We didn't quite see where Drifting got. It's 6th. It's a decent lap to put him up there. So we got, out of the 3 title protagonists, 1 on the front row, 1 on the 2nd row, 1 on the 3rd row. 2nd, 4th, 6th. And it's Stelios who takes pole. Well, that really came out of nowhere for Sam, but he surely did need it. If he is to close that 19-point gap to Josh and take it to the end with a down-to-the-wire showdown, that's exactly what he needed. And as for Drifting, he's at least in there to fight. This is going to get very interesting. And to no surprise, it's going to be dry weather in the desert. 29 laps ahead of us. What's going to be probably a very enthralling and strategy dependent, with warnings to inflict, the changing order. And like I said, safety cars aren't that common around here, so if you start on the hards for the first time in Tier 2, it might actually work out for you. Wow, that middle sector from Stelios, out of nowhere. You must have really aced the hairpin and the 2 corners after. There we go then. Safety cars are pretty low, warnings are pretty high, and the formation lap has begun. Let's look at tyres. Here we go. So, Adam and Frosty Life, both Hassers start on the hards. They do love to extend their first stint as drifting's destroying all the boards. Heading into turn 1, those aren't really the important ones, it's the ones on the left. As we see Warren, Bluey and Dello at the back also on the hard compound tyres. So as for the top 2, they're looking to hold their ground. And Haas, don't discount them out still. If they can still stick with and not let anyone get away from the top train, they're looking in a pretty good spot. Josh Hewitt, he's one of the best starters on the grid. I'm sure he can get around Adam. And for drifting's sake, he'll try and hopefully get round Frosty. And for Sam's sake, he's going to need to stay in front of Josh at all costs. It's a bit of a rundown to turn 1, where we could see some drama. Usually delivers really good racing, side-by-side action. So yeah, Enric, 5 wins this season, up to Tier 1. Josh Hewitt, 5 wins this season. Sam L, 4 wins this season. Stelios, 2 wins this season. Bram, 2 wins this season, but he's not racing today. Drifting, 1 win this season at the opening race in Australia. And Adam, 1 win this season. So as they're making their way around the final corner, I wonder what must be going through the mind of Josh Hewitt. He's been in this position before, where he's gone into a race knowing he can win the World Championship. It didn't happen though 3 years ago, but 6 seasons later, he has delivered a storming performance across 20 weeks to put himself in a position with 1 race to go, when it's so tight between the 3 title protagonists, to incredibly have a chance at realistically winning with 1 race to spare. But he's got a heck of a lot of work to do today. And as much as he started 18th last week, this could just be as difficult, as the final cars are making their way onto their grid slot. And we'll gear up then. It is the Qatar Grand Prix with the 5 lights coming on ahead of the drivers then. 5 lights to signal our start under the lights in Qatar. Stelios versus Sam off the line as it's lights out, and away we go as Josh Hewitt already diving his way to the inside. 3 wide into turn 1. What a start from Josh Hewitt as he's fighting away with his championship rival. The top 2 in the World Championship, the top 2 in the race. It's Sam from Josh, Stelios up to 3rd. What a start from drifting as well. That was crucial as the top 3 are in the top 4 and he's all over the back of Stelios. Will he go to the inside? No, Stelios covers it off. It's been an awful start for the 2 Haas cars. Frosty getting absolutely eaten up by the cars around him. Same with Adam as they head into the hairpin for the first time. Chubster up to 5th, Yonder 6th. Zach and Adam fighting away for 7th and 8th, with Zach winning that duel. And it looks like Birdie's holding on to the points, as is Warren on the hards. And yeah, Frosty just dropped completely down the order. Dello up 2 places ahead of both RBs. What a start from Sam and Josh to be the leading top 2. Biggest gainer at the moment. Well, there's a lot of people who've gained 2 places, but yeah. Wow. Josh got the start on Adam, who really fell down the order. And then it looked like he was going to take the lead momentarily, but Sam had the momentum to hang it round the outside. 4th to 1st in nearly, not even a corner, but Sam knows what he's got to do today. Because we know if the top 2 swap their order, Josh is champion. But if they stay like this, we will go into the final race. Sam and Josh, 12 points apart. It'll be like 2016 all over again. Josh Hewitt under pressure from Stelios, however, and Drifting wants to make this the top 3 in the championship, the top 3 in the race. All over the back of the Red Bull. We know Stelios has pace, though, and we know he likes to get involved in the fight. But at the moment, it's a DRS train all the way down to P11. So when I said the Haas cars stick with the top train, this isn't really what I meant. But at the moment, technically it's true. But right now, it's a game of consistency with not getting warnings and saving the battery like Stelios is doing right there. Drifting, keeping it well behind. Chubster as well. Yonder and Zach. Yep, they're all doing really well with battery. Bluey at the back. Probably the lowest of anyone with the battery, unfortunately. But yep, Sam having a good amount with saving. Josh is close to him. And these two have had some great battles across the course of the season. Bahrain, Netherlands, where they've battled for the lead. And Britain, obviously, the main one. Oh, as Josh Hewitt goes off there, might have had to just avoid getting a warning by slowing down. That's going to upset his momentum. That's going to please Sam, as the first penalty already goes to Warren. No offence, but no shock. Right there. We start lap 3 then. Josh Hewitt will have DRS. And he's not really even in the slipstream of Sam. He's pulling to the left, keeping on the line. And the top 4 have broke away from P5. Chubster under pressure from Yonder. As Frosty gets past Warren. That's, I think, our first overtake that's not on lap 1. And it's for P10. As we look back to the front. So yeah, Chubster losing DRS already. The top 4 are away. Josh is all over Sam. That might be a warning. That was really close for the Ferrari. You put yourself in Josh Hewitt's position or Sam's position. You know when you're in Sam's position, you have nothing to lose. You got to give it everything. You know if you lose this fight, you lose the championship. You know if you win this fight, you're in a, well, half-decent position for the finale. You still got to outscore him by 12 points come Abu Dhabi. But at least you've taken it down to the wire. And as for Drifting, he's got the biggest job to do. He's the furthest behind out of the 3. 21 points behind. And if it finishes like this, Drifting will be out of contention. And it will just be Sam and Josh heading into the finale. A 1v1 between the Sauber and the Ferrari. But I believe we might get a change of leadership heading on to lap 4. A little bit wide for Sam and Stelios there. Josh applying the pressure, keeping it in medium, however. Just letting Sam tow him along. You can see the sparks underneath the Ferrari. You can see the Sauber slowly gaining, but not quite enough. And you can see Drifting overtaking Chubster there and Zach to the inside. So Chubster's lost 2 places. Dello now overtakes Warren, who's dropping ever further behind down the order. Exciting stuff. But Yonder, 2.5 behind the leaders now, has got 3 or 4 cars with him. Only one of them on the hard compound tyres. So we got a 4-car fight for first. We got a 4-car fight for 5th. And a 2-car fight for 9th. And a 2-car fight for 11th. With the 2 RBs just keeping it comfy in 13th and 14th, I guess. As much as I say Stelios might be struggling, I'm pretty sure he's fine exactly where he is. You can see the fight up ahead. Using a bit of battery when it pleases. Drifting won't be too annoyed, to be fair, I don't think. He knows he can see his rivals, so he can react to them. And it really is going to be interesting to see who pits first. Can they make their tyres last to the end? Quick check of fuel. No one's fuel lights are flashing, so no one really underfueled that badly. But on to lap 5 then, Josh Hewitt, a lot closer to Sam. And now we see the Sauber use the overtake. Now we see the Sauber go to the inside. Now we see Josh Hewitt take the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix and put himself in championship winning position. As we see further back, the fights continue. Adam versus Chubster into turn 1. And there's slight lag between the Haas and the Ferrari, who goes off the track, fighting away with the Haas. And it looks like Adam's still there for him. But yeah. A little bit of argy-bargy, technically not even contact because it's lag. It looked like Chubster went off there to keep the place. But for now, yeah, finishes like this. Josh Hewitt is world champion. But we are a long way away from the end of the race, as once again, Chubster's had connection issues. Remember, he was ghosted for a whole race. Adam, who's had connection issues, obviously, from last week when he got sent into the air and out of the race with Dello. So they got to be really careful where they place their cars because, oh, so we have a yellow at the back. And that's Warren off into the gravel, who has spun. And if you can maybe press accelerate, you can get back on track. Blood is not beached. As all, we see Stelios going off there in the back. Oh, he has found first gear. Good. Don't know what happened there. Maybe a connection with another driver, but whatever. Back to the front. Josh Hewitt versus Sam, who is really gaining and goes to the inside. Looks like it's going to be another easy move into turn 1 with the DRS. As Frosty gets past Birdie as well. The Haas is using their hards to their advantage now, as it looks like the mediums might start to have some wear. So Sam back ahead. And we know heading into the last lap, it's one of those tracks where if you're close enough in seconds, starting lap 29, and take the lead into turn 1, it's pretty much cemented. But you never know, especially with tier 2. So the bottom 2 have a 3-sec. Warren continues then, as we see once again the two ghosts, really. Chubster versus Adam round the outside. Adam using his hards to his advantage. Chubster giving him just enough space. They're going wheel to wheel through the middle sector, and Adam round the outside just about makes up a brilliant move, but goes a bit too deep, and Chubster now finds himself back wheel to wheel with Adam, who's using his battery to stay in front, and this time Adam's got the place. Good move, even with all the lag. Still a really good, fun fight, and he's still within a second of the leaders of the train. As for the leaders, 4 seconds now to Yonder, who's got the pace to hold off Zach. So they're not really swapping like the Josh and Sam have been for the last couple laps. Josh 60%, same as Sam pretty much. And here we go, Josh is gaining in the slipstream to the inside, and for the 3rd lap in a row, it's a change of leadership, and it's a swap in the championship. Josh versus Sam. And at the moment, it's keeping pretty well. Zach to the inside now. Has finally managed to make a move on Yonder. And is up into P5 in his 2nd race. So Red Bull 3rd and 5th at the moment. As we see the top 2 really close to one another. Heading through turn 4 and 5. Brilliant wheel-to-wheel action between the top 2 in the championship. And Josh Hewitt stays in front of the Ferrari. That got so close to ending in tears for one of them. Or both of them. But they're fighting for a championship at this late stage of the season. They know how to fight one another, and they know what's on the line. And Stelios and Drifting getting their popcorn devoured, really. That was quite the fight, as Zach B has actually closed the gap slightly to the leaders, showing pretty good decent pace at the moment. Yonder just looking after his mediums. We can clearly see the hards are starting to become better and more favourable. And Chubster nearly losing DRS here, but he's still got a lot of battery to use if he really wants to. You can see that gap is now over a second, and he's using his battery now. Zach now gets a 3-second time penalty, and it looks like Chubster may have just got DRS. As we look back to his teammate, Sam L, lap 8, overtakes Josh, 4th lap in a row. The top 2 swap, and it looks like Josh will just be ahead of Stelios, who's going a little defensive on Drifting, and looks like Yonder's also got ahead of Zach, and to the inside, Adam versus Zach as well. And once again, with the slight bit of lag, it looks like Zach's just going to hold off Adam. It must be difficult, considering they can't see him, and sometimes they can. But yeah, as for Drifting, I'm pretty sure he's going to want to get a move on soon and get past Stelios if he's to fight Josh and Sam. He knows the championship, his championship status is right in front of him, as Zach still holds off Adam for P6. Whoa. And it looks like Frosty's also closing in on this fight too. And who will be the first to blink? Surely not any time within the next 2 laps will someone pit. I'd say the earliest, maybe lap 11, 12, but even that's a bit of a gamble. As look at that, Stelios nearly a second behind Josh Hewitt. And, well, if he does fall behind, that might allow Drifting to close up. And it is literally on the limit, as the detection point is there. And at the moment, I don't think Stelios has got DRS, as he'll come around the final corner. No, he doesn't. But Drifting is 7/10 behind him too. But he's going to use a lot of his battery, as is Stelios. And Josh gaining on Sam, who's got good race pace still. He's saved his mediums pretty well. And look at that. The top two have pulled away from third and fourth. It's up to Stelios now to see if he can get back in front. 3 wide into turn 1. Yonder loses a place to Adam and Zach, who are still fighting away. And Adam losing the rear slightly allows Zach to be in 5th. And Yonder has lost a couple places. Chubster and Frosty have fully joined this fight now. Birdie currently sitting in P10. He's got Dello close to him. As once again, we see Adam and Zach. That was clearly Ghost. Because if he was on the inside, like Frosty is there to Chubster, he may have got tagged, even though he was ghosting. And yeah, we see 1.1 seconds. Stelios' battery also pretty low. And now we see it flickering in between. Josh closing up to Sam. And with Josh in the slipstream of the Ferrari, you'd think that gap would be getting slightly larger, which it is, minusculely. Zach under big pressure from Adam, who's all over the back, lagging everywhere. There's a 3-second time penalty. And I'm sure Adam will want to get past Zach, heading on to the start-finish straight and using those hards to good use. As we see, Stelios has got back in the DRS, but at what cost? He's used all his battery, and now he's lost the second again. As we see, the top two are swapping once again. Josh versus Sam. Josh into the lead, ahead of the Ferrari, who's all over the rear. As we see Adam, this time, fly past Zach, and we look in the background. Frosty versus Yonder. Can Frosty go around the outside? Yonder goes deep, holds off the inside, and Frosty will have to try again. And he's looking this way and that. To the inside, we see the leaders very close to one another. Frosty all over the back of Yonder still. Can't find a way past though. And look at that. Adam already pulling nearly a second ahead of the struggling medium runners. As we see, Stelios is back within a second of these guys and has saved some battery for good measure. Warren, 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. He might retire. He has retired. So Zach's still holding off at least 3 cars, but Adam is off into the distance. I wouldn't fully discount Adam. He's got some good race pace, but look at the gap between him to the leaders. 6 seconds. I mean, we know he's going long, and unless a VSC comes out after these lot have pitted, it's going to be very difficult for Adam to see himself any higher than where he is right now. And with that 3 second looming over him as well, he's got to get a move on. As we look to the front, and it looks like Sam will be able to make another pass. But Josh Hewitt, only on lap 10, is into the pit lane. Slows down, followed by Drifting. But they're surely going to be separated by more than a second. Birdie 3 second now. So Sam and Stelios stay out 1 extra lap. So Drifting's going to have to hope Stelios or Sam pit the following lap. Otherwise he's going to lose DRS, because that's clearly more than a second. They pit very early in the race, however. A lot of laps to do on the hards, considering this track is probably number 1 in terms of tyre wear on the game. So Josh exits the pit lane in free air there, then ahead of Drifting. And look at that, Stelios really closing to Sam, who's struggling. Maybe he's used a bit too much of his mediums in the last few laps. However, Adam, well, it was Drifting, the next car, so obviously the gap's gotten a little bigger. And Yonder and Frosty and Chubster have all got past Zach there. Zach's fallen to the back of this little fight. And Dello's got past Birdie as well. Josh is in a lot of clean air right now. Look at that, 3 seconds to Drifting. So it's going to be very interesting to see where these guys come out if they do pit this lap. This could be very crucial. The one and only pit stop you're supposed to make and should make on this game for a 50% race. And Sam is coming into the pit lane, followed by Stelios. And you've got to make sure you don't speed. And they've just kept within the speed limit. As Adam stays out then on the hards to take the lead. Sam and Stelios simultaneously pit for hards and exit the pit lane. As Zach's in as well. And he might have got slightly held there because of his teammate pitting too. There's the top two. Where is Josh Hewitt though? Compared to Sam L. Exiting the pit lane. He can see his championship rival is still ahead of him on 1 lap fresher hards. But he's still going to get them up to temperature. And Stelios looks like he's lacking time as Sam and Josh nearly collide. Josh to the inside. Sam had a big snap there, trying to get the temp in his tyres, and they're going wheel to wheel. Josh and Sam, and it looks like Josh will stay ahead. That was so close to both of them ending up in the wall. And Stelios has caught right back up to these two because of that, and Drifting has really lost out. So it's like Britain, really, with these three. Josh, Sam, Stelios. And Drifting just, unfortunately, just seeing in front of him his championship hopes slipping away. But there's still 3-second time penalties that could have a crop up. So Josh currently 17 seconds off Adam, who is still getting beat by his teammates at the moment in terms of time pens. Speaking of time pens, Delo's now got his first. So that makes 5 people of the 13 with one. And Chubster now into the pit lane. Yonder staying out once again. Delo also staying out. Birdie going very wide there on the mediums, also staying out. So Chubster pulls into his pit box. The lighting is all sorts of wrong for those Ferrari mechanics. Looks so weird. As Sam L gets back in front of Josh for about the 8th time in the race. Into turn 1. This time there's no snap. They're keeping it clean. They know what's at stake. They don't have to risk anything until the end. Then they can give it everything. And what will Stelios do to get in the mix of this? Unfortunately, Drifting's falling ever further behind now. And he's really going to need them to trip over one another. Chubster managed to undercut Zach. Or I guess he was still ahead of Zach. 2 RBs close to one another. Bluey on the hards. Nathan on the mediums. Either have stopped. So this is actually for position. So they're going to have a good fight. Frosty's gaining a few tenths on Adam. You'd think Yonder would come into the pit lane this lap. You'd think very much so he would come into the pit lane on this lap now. We're approaching that halfway stage of the race. We've lost Warren in the pit lane. The 2 Haas cars obviously going to stay out. And Yonder now into the pit lane. Be interesting to see where he comes out in reference to Chubster and Zach and all that. Look at that, 10 seconds now between the Ferrari 2 Drifting as we see Josh start lap 14. Samuel, fastest lap of the race, but now Josh is using his battery and using a lot of it. They're both using everything to pull away from Stelios, and Josh now into the lead as Stelios has lacked a second behind, and they've all got very low battery. Drifting has double any of them. And I'm just starting to get a feeling as we see Zach fighting away with Chubster and getting ahead of Yonder. So Yonder rejoins behind these guys with fresher rubber. So this will be a fun 3-way fight as the 2 Haas cars still out in front, still having to pit. And I'm just wondering, there's Delo, there's Josh. And could we see some potential team play here before Delo has to make his pit stop? Could we see Josh Hewitt overtaking Delo and Delo holding Sam up? Or is Delo not going to interfere and just get on with his own race? Very interesting. We know Sauber and Aston are fighting for second in the Constructors. We know it's wrapped up with Ferrari winning it due to Sam and Chubster racking up the points. And actually, let's have a quick look. Fuel, still all good for the whole field. 3 seconds now, the gap between Delo and Josh. It looks like the top 2 are going to swap again. A little bit wide for Sam, however, but he's using his battery to close up to the Sauber, and Stelios not letting them get away. He's still got the DRS. Sam closing up to Josh. This time doesn't get fully ahead, so is now going to have to be to the inside line to get past the Sauber on lap 15. And Josh still putting Sam under pressure there, inside, outside, all over the back of the Ferrari. Drifting, losing about 3 tenths to the last time we checked in. Zach versus Chubster around the outside, and Chubster leaves just enough space for Zach. As Josh Hewitt now has a 3-second time penalty. That is huge for this race, as Zach and Chubster are still banging wheels close together, and they make contact. The Red Bull and the Ferrari. The Red Bull rejoins the track behind Yonder, and they got a bit too close for comfort there. Zach trying to find a gap. They connected, and luckily both didn't go off. But now Josh Hewitt, oh, that is going to be huge. Well, that has thrown a big spanner in the works, and it might seem like the championship won't be won today. Then it could go to the wire. That is the best thing Sam L could have hoped for Josh Hewitt to get a 3-second time penalty. And Dello now gets another one too. If there is one thing Sam may be better at than Josh in terms of consistency, it's with warnings. And right now it's serving him well because Josh could fall down to behind Stelios, maybe even behind Drifting. This could save Drifting's championship hopes as well, if there even was any at this stage. Dello trying to break the toe from Sam, and he's going to be quite the hindrance to the Ferrari, and we'll see just how much he gets his elbows out. Because at the moment, Drifting, I believe, will still mathematically be in this fight, but he's going to be about 20-ish points behind with one race to go. And at that rate, he would need to win, and Josh would need to pretty much not score. And you can see Dello holding Sam up here. And he tried a similar thing in Baku. It really didn't end well. He ended up colliding with his teammate. And for Drifting's sake, this is a good thing. Because if Dello's holding them up, that allows Drifting to close up. And Stelios, really. So, if anything, this is hindering his teammate by holding Josh up and allowing others to close in under the 3-second gap. And Dello's not really holding them up. He's just pushing at his own rate because he's on really worn hards. And this is going to get really close because we're heading into a fast section here with a guy on really old worn hards compared to a really fast car on new hards. You can see Dello all over the road. It's going to be upsetting Sam as well. And we can see Stelios is closed, but look at that. Look how close they're getting. And we have a yellow flag, and it's Birdie Saints at the back. And we see Josh Hewitt round the outside of his championship rival. And Sam just hopes that Dello won't go into the pit lane. And the two rivals bang wheels as Dello is going to get swamped by the pair heading into turn one. Stelios all over the back of Dello. The championship rivals have made contact. Sam spins, Josh spins, and not for the first time. Huge drama between the top guys in the championship, and that is huge disappointment for Sam L and Josh Hewitt. It looks like Josh has gotten away without damage, but Sam has damage. Oh no. What on earth happened there on a straight? And that could change things catastrophically. Stelios has just seen a big lifeline happen ahead of him. Frosty Life's got connection issues just after he pitted for new mediums. Oh, it's not what you wanted to see. This allowed Drifting to really close up as well. Dello really didn't even get too much involved there. He just let them go. As we're seeing warnings galore now happen. And what does Sam do? Does he pit? He's going to lose a lot of places. He dropped down to like 10th or something. Really don't know what happened there. They got so close to contact. They just connected. And went into the wall. And Dello once again staying out. But Drifting has been gifted DRS here as Adam now exits the pit lane on the mediums. And Drifting is ahead of Dello. Dello to the inside, though. That makes Drifting really have to watch his mirrors. And that's put him so much under pressure because Drifting did not want to be taken out. So he tries again as Dello really didn't really do that much. But Drifting aware of what could have happened. And for Drifting's sake, he needs to get past Dello. And needs to do it quick. Will he try a switch back? No, Dello holds his place. And is holding him up. So right now it's down to Stelios if he gets a 3-second time penalty or not. That's what's stopping Josh from becoming champion at the moment. And from this going down to the wire. Sam has pitted. And is down in 10th. And with a track that just doesn't really have safety cars. He's going to be praying. Because there are 5 cars ahead of him who have penalties. Not what you wanted to see, but it's what's happened now. And Dello's still 18 laps into the race. Will he decide to pit now? Because Drifting will surely clear him. Drifting's got the DRS. He's got the battery. Delo's flashing, drifting to the inside. And this time round on the dust, he has cleared the salvo. He keeps it very pointing to the inside there. But I'm pretty sure Delo on really worn hards isn't going to fight that too much. But what about Adam as well? And Frosty, who's back in his car. But look at the train he's got behind him. He's going to need to try and dispatch them. Sam, 25 seconds off. He could probably still beat Zach, as the two RBs having a nice fight. Well, this is Stelios' race to win now. And for drifting, well, if Josh finishes second, drifting third, the gap goes from 21 points to 24 points with 25 points remaining. So right now the championship is still not going to be won. But it looks pretty wrapped up. Because Sam was 19 points behind Josh. And will now be fully out of contention. That moment has just thrown Sam's title hopes, after it was looking solid and promising, to maybe go down to 12 points, maybe even less than that, due to Josh's penalty, maybe even down to 9 points with one race to go. It could have been what could have been an amazing finale. Well, in the penultimate round, it looks like it's going to be all but confirmed nearly, as Delo's in. And I still wouldn't discount Adam as well. 7 seconds off the lead, 9 laps to go. On the mediums, Frosty Life showing some really good pace. Look at that, he's gapped yonder. And what was 1 lap ago, these four really close. They're now pretty separated as Zach gets past Chubster. These two already had one coming together. But it looks like this time round it's good. Delo exits the pit lane and shock, who's behind him, closing up. It's Sam. Yeah, that moment is going to be talked about. And Stelios just needs to make sure he sticks within 3 seconds of Josh while not getting a 3 second himself. Otherwise, championship might be back on. And the annoying thing is, we don't actually know who was at fault between Josh and Sam. So if Stelios does get a 3 and Josh wins this race, we don't actually know if he's champion or not, because he might get a pen for the thing with Sam, or it was Sam's fault. We don't actually know. So for Stelios' sake, to take it to the wire, he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. And they're pulling further and further away from drifting, who's already being caught by Adam. Adam is absolutely flying, and he's going to go round the outside of drifting, but he can't quite do it, so he'll switch back with the lag and use it to his advantage. DRS open. We have a yellow, though, and it's Birdie right at the back there, going for a spin. And he'll get back on track. Adam's up to third now. And actually, now thinking about it, Josh is champion if Adam's third. Because Josh needed to outscore drifting by 4 points. At the moment, he'll outscore him by 6 points. If Adam can surely get a 3 second gap. So for drifting's sake, he's going to hope Adam catches Josh as well. That's not it. 5 seconds now from what was 7. This is going to be very close. So Chubster got back ahead of Zach. I don't know what he's playing at. But he's now with Yonder. Frosty, 5 seconds down the road. 5 seconds behind drifting. Frosty could even catch drifting. You never know. As Birdie's retired in the pit lane. That promotes the two RBs up to 11th and 12th. Sam could still get 9th. It'll be interesting to see if he can get 8th, as Zach has caused a safety car. Yeah, well, he's a bit of an idiot. But, well, that's changed the game, hasn't it? I heard he was doing weird stuff in Vegas. Didn't really look into it too much, but now I think that kind of sums it up. But that really has changed the name of the game. Warren said he retired because he had technical issues. His paddles stopped working. Oh, that's why he pulled off into the gravel. Oh, right, okay. The state of Adam's internet quite perfectly confirms what I said. Yeah, well, it's a bit of a what's the word? Bipolar kind of thing. Wow, that really has changed it. Drifting is out. What on earth has happened? Drifting's hit the safety car, and his championship chances are gone. Second race in a row, he has crashed. And that is surely it. Drifting's out of this championship. Josh just needs to finish, what, 7th? And this 3-way fight has now just gone down to 2. As Josh and Stelios have fought into the pit lane there. I don't know if Josh was ahead or not before so, but Drifting saying Dello brake checked him. I was looking at what's... Well, apparently Zach got hit into the wall, and he didn't do that on his own. I don't know. What is happening? Oh, this... Oh, what? Why is Stelios on Inters? What is happening? Yonder could win. So either Drifting's hit the safety car, which surely that's not something he would, you know, mentally do. So unless Delos genuinely brake test checked him or something, I didn't see where he was on track when Drifting crashed. Oh my god, there is going to be a lot to talk about. Well, this has just saved Sam L, though. And he's on softs, Yonder's on softs, Nathan's on softs, and so is Josh. Everyone is on the lead lap. I mean, Delo's in front of Sam, so that's going to be interesting. He's got to first get past Chubster, Yonder, and Frosty. Did they pit for new mediums? Yeah. Oldest tyres are Delo. I don't know what Stelios is doing on Inters, though. If that was a genuine mistake, then maybe like ran out of time and he's really annoyed with himself now. But for what, Sam's sake, he's going to need to push, because if Stelios pits again, surely he'll end up behind Sam now. Surely. Whoa. And Stelios needs to make sure not to overtake the safety car heading into the pit lane. Otherwise, he's going to get disqualified. Yep. Common mistake. And yep, that's him out. Mental. Both RBs are now in the points. So we lost Warren, who retired because he had issues with his wheel. That explains why he was stationary in the gravel. Fair enough. We lost Birdie. I think he just gave up, like at past the halfway stage. Again, fair enough. We lost Drifting, and now with any chance of him winning the championship, because of a thing under the safety car, which was either him hitting it or a thing with Delo. We have both Salbers and both Hasses in the top 4. We have Yonder 5th. Frosty Life is now in contention. I'm sure Chubster won't fight Sam too hard if he tries to get past. What on earth has just happened? This is... I know usually week in, week out, things are crazy, but this is crazy. Sam saying Josh turned across him. I'm still yet to see any clip. Some saying Sam's fault. Some saying Josh's. Well, Josh is saying Sam's fault. So don't know about that. Someone said softs are not going to be great by the end, and I honestly don't disagree, because it will be close. Well, I say it'll be close. Bluey's still quite a bit off the pack, so it might. That's track limits for the safety car right there. It will probably stay out for one more lap. I think the detection is there. So yeah, one more lap, which will help the soft runners. And I guess Adam and Josh are fighting for this win in terms of track position. Delo's certainly going to do his best to hold others up. Yonder and Chubster and Sam. Oh, this is going to be so close. I mean, both RBs will be pretty happy. There's a bit of a swap going on there between Yonder and Chubster. And now Chubster's ahead of Yonder. But now Yonder's trying to give the place. But no, Yonder's... Has Yonder now got an illegal on Sam as well? What's happened there? Well, okay. Yonder's just let both Ferraris go. Ten minutes ago, things were pretty normal. Bit chaotic, bit controversial, bit standard. 10 minutes later, all hell has broken loose. Both good and bad. If Zach did get hit into the wall, then fair enough, this safety car's fair. Which is what he's claiming. Apparently Chubster did it. These two were like knocking 7 bells of stuff into each other for the whole race. So it's plausible. But yeah. 10 remain. And we're going to have 4 laps left. 3 drivers went into this race, still with a chance to become champion. One of them is out, and is surely not going to have any chance left to resume that for the finale. So you're watching Josh Hewitt versus Sam L in an end-of-race safety car. We've seen a million times, but I don't think we've ever seen quite like this. And Josh Hewitt, oh, Chubster is the back of Frosty there. Josh Hewitt is now going to gear up for this restart, and he's going to take them right to the line. And now we're going to go racing for 4 laps. Foot flat to the floor as Sam is going to try and get past his teammate Chubster, who's blasting his battery as well. And is he going to try and help Chubster or not? Sam round the outside. Chubster still holding him up slightly. And we have both Ferraris, both Haas cars, both Saubers, all Ferrari-powered engines in the top 6. And Chubster isn't letting Sam go. So Sam to the inside. And is Chubster going to back off? Or is he still going to fight him? No, he's going to back off. Sam, now up in a 5th. He's taking every opportunity possible here. And he knows if he gets Frosty Life, he's in the net win. But he knows the car ahead of Frosty Life is probably going to cause some issues. We really hope it, not bad issues, but I'm sure he's going to try and help his teammate. Sam's on those softs and using them to good use. As the 3 ahead of him, all on mediums, we can see Josh Hewitt pushing on those softs to try and break the 3-second gap. And we'll put it to lead up 2 seconds between Josh and Sam. This is still not over. But those softs are going to be degrading like crazy. And both of them are on them. You can already see the turning is not really ideal from Sam there. Frosty's all over the back of Delo. Zach now gets his 5th pen. And Adam is not letting Josh go. But he's got very little battery compared to Josh. DRS will be available next lap. And look, you can see Sam has already used so much. He's not close enough. They're still in single file with 3 laps to go. But Sam needs to make sure he sticks within 3 seconds of Josh. Remember, heading into this, Josh will become champion if he outscores Sam by 7 points. Right now, that's not going to be the case because Sam is still within the time pens of Dello and Adam. And Josh, well, he's got to get 3 seconds over Frosty Life. Frosty Life, can you believe it, could win this Grand Prix. Hasn't won a race for quite some time. Be great to see him back up at the podium, but unfortunately, the spotlight isn't really on him because the championship's on the line here in Qatar. And you can see that gap going up 2.5. And, well, you'd only assume the gap might even increase after this, but it's all down to Dello, really. It is Sauber Haas, Ferrari. And yonder could still gain a place or two. But I'm sure Chubbs is going to be a rear gunner. As the two RBs are swapping. And it looks like Nathan will get 9th. Bluey will be 10th. Josh hasn't got Adam out of DRS there. But it's close. Dello now with another time penalty. He knows he's going to fully drop down the order here. And the championship is going to be very closely decided whether it's in these next couple laps or it's going to be next week. But Frosty Life, trying to go for the win, is closing up on Dello, and Sam isn't close enough. So Frosty Life is now in 3rd and on the verge of victory. Which for Sam's sake, if he's not going to win, he really hopes Frosty will. And he just has to hope Frosty doesn't lose enough time. Adam knows this is it. And he's going to try and help his teammate as best as possible. The Haas master plan. And Adam trying to use his lag to his advantage. You can see Frosty's clearly within the 3 seconds. Sam needs to get this move done. And he has got the move done to the inside. He's got past Dello. So Sam is up in a 4th. Now he needs to make sure he sticks within a second of Frosty to keep hold. That was a crucial move for Sam. What is the gap between the top two? 2.5 seconds as we are heading on to the final lap. And Sam using a bit of battery. Dello struggling. He knows Sam is quicker. And, well, I mean, fair play to Dello there. He gave it his all, trying to help. But now, heading on to the last lap, will Josh Hewitt even hold the win on track? Or will it be Adam? We can't ride on board with Adam. That's crazy work. But now, like I said, heading on to the final lap, like has been the common theme on F124, if you are second with the battery, with the DRS, there's P1, go get it. We start the final lap of the Qatar Grand Prix. Adam to the inside, he's won once before, he wants to win again, but this time it might be his teammate who's the one picking up the pieces. Adam into the lead, ahead of Josh Hewitt, who's already under investigation, remember, for the incident with Sam, as Frosty is clearly within 3 seconds. He's pushing, give it everything. There's been classic historic races. We're on the final lap. I may have shouted Frosty Life out of pure reaction, but this time it's relevant. Frosty Life, go. And he's pushing as hard as he can, but Sam is all over the back of him. Sam knows this would be huge if he could also get past Frosty Life, but he needs to make sure he doesn't squabble too much and lose the gap, which is currently about 0.6 to P1. It's going to be close. And Frosty's under big pressure. And what does Sam do in this situation? 2.4 now. 2.7. Sam needs to make sure he sticks with the top two. And it looks like he might beat his rival. I'm pretty certain this is going to go down to the wire. It's going to be a dramatic finale between Josh Hewitt and Sam L in Abu Dhabi. But here at Qatar, it's going to be close. The gap is rising. And Sam is putting big pressure on Frosty Life, and their fighting could cost them. It's going to be close across the line. 3 seconds. Has Adam done it? He has. Adam, right at the end, did enough. Look how close that top 3 was. It's a Haas 1-2. Adam has won again, with Frosty losing the win right at the end, under pressure from Sam, who has beaten Josh right at the end there. Wow. And there could still be looks into that incident between Sam and Josh, who was at fault. And even if it was Sam's fault, and even if Sam gets a 5 second, which, I don't know, I don't actually think that changes too much. And I'm pretty sure we will go into Abu Dhabi with a title fight. A down-to-the-wire showdown. But Haas, bravo. I'm sure Frosty will be a bit annoyed they couldn't get the win there with Sam all over. But there were fine margins, and championships can be decided by the finest of margins, and that was too close to call. Wow. Well, in Tier 2, anything is possible and anything can happen, and it usually does. So there we go. Adam takes the fastest lap as well. Right at the end. So if we add 5 to Sam... Oh my god, look at that gap. Yonder 5th with 1.3. Dello 6, 11. So I don't even think a pen for either Josh or Sam is going to change much. So yeah, I'm 99% sure we are going into Abu Dhabi with the championship still on the line. Mental. Oh, this is a long race director. Jeez. Adam and Frosty, 1 and 2. Well, they both started on the hards compared to everyone else around them on the mediums, and you'd think in a normal, like, competitive, really good league race, oh, they just did a hard medium. They worked really well. Nope. Complete opposite. Safety cars galore and whatnot. Wow. Right. Well, I hope everyone who was watching enjoyed that. That was crazy. The top 4 separated by, what, a tenth or two? Half a second? Something like that. Let's get the top 3 in. And we can talk to all 3 of them as well, because they're on Xbox. Alright. Frosty, Sam, and Adam.
My God.
Here we go then. We have 2nd and 3rd joining the party at the moment. Still waiting for Adam. Right, just a little check. Frosty, are you there, mate? Hello. Right, there's Adam. Sam, are you there, mate?
Yes.
You there, Adam? Hello?
Yeah.
Adam, if you include your audio.
Yeah.
Frosty, if you include your audio. Sam, if you include your audio.
Of course.
Here we go then. Wow. What a race for Haas. A 1-2. Incredible scenes. There might be mixed emotions. However, I'm sure Frosty may have been eyeing up the win. And, such fine margins. What was it? 56 thousandths. We'll go in order then. And we'll just try and break it all down. Adam, let's start with you. So you qualified 3rd, I think?
Pretty sure I did, yeah.
3rd, and you and your teammates started on the hards compared to everyone around you on the mediums, and at first it really didn't work out. Just take us through the start. What happened?
It's just I didn't really heat my tires up on formation. I struggled to do it, and just kept on falling back. Tough start. Really.
You dropped down to about 10th, I believe.
Yeah.
No, that was Frosty. You dropped down to about 7th or 8th. And then around lap 6 or 7, when the mediums started to fall off and the hards became pretty well, you were scything your way through the field, making your way up. You got past that big train into 5th, and then there was like a 6-second gap to the top 4. You obviously did the long stint with your team, with Frosty, and then pitted, came out, overtook drifting. When you overtook drifting, when you were in 3rd, was there any thought in your head thinking, I can maybe win this and catch the top 2?
At that point, not really. Although I did, my pace did feel strong for the whole race. I feel like I was catching them, but I didn't really think I'd be able to win the race. But...
Yeah, it was one of those that we'll never know, because there was a safety car that got brought out, and I'm guessing you pitted onto a new set of mediums, right?
Yeah.
You did, right. And then, actually, how many warnings did you get that race? Because obviously you had the 3.
I had 4 in total.
4 in total, right. And I'm guessing they were all just normal. You have this lag thing. I don't know if it's your connection or just it must be yours, I guess. But because when you were fighting away with Chubster and Zach and whatnot, it looked a bit weird. So like last week with Dello, it was all a bit like Sam. If I can ask you real quick, if I don't know if you were near Adam that race, was Adam lagging a bit? Or?
Yes, he was. He was for me, it kept saying he disconnected and reconnected.
But
All right, because whenever I rode on board with Adam, especially towards the end of the, I just couldn't ride on board. You were everywhere, and then you were no. It was weird. Anyway, safety car came in. You were fighting Josh for the win. The softs obviously did not um, really do too much after a lap or two, and that allowed you to close in on the last lap for Josh, who didn't really put up too much of a fight. And then, was there any communication between you and Frosty, like in the last few races, especially today, or were you just doing your own thing?
No, I was just doing my own thing. It was just
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So you've pushed as hard as you could, and again, fine margins, just over half a tenth. You've managed to bag your second win in 3 weeks. Incredible, incredible. Big haul of points for the team, and a massive result. I'm sure you must be happy with that.
very.
Very. Which one for now? Like, I know you've only just finished the race, but which one, Brazil or today? Which one is
I,
better?
I think just because the
Still Brazil?
ending. Just
Oh,
because the
today.
ending, maybe today.
Fair enough, fair enough. They keep getting weird, crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations. Um, I was saying this in qualifying, like Haas are just so like you two in like the last three, four, five races have been incredible. Constantly qualifying in the top ten, top fives, constantly getting top five results, and this kind of result you thoroughly deserve with a 1-2. So congratulations. I don't think you two really got involved in much today. If
No,
anything, it was just
I don't.
overtakes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that should hopefully stay. So on to P2. Frosty, hello.
Yes, hello.
Oh, it's so good to hear your voice after so long. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Ah, as much as I'm very happy to see you back on the podium, it must be quite annoying to just lose out on the win there right at the end.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to see, but it's fine. I firstly want to congrats my teammate Adam. He did a great job today, so he definitely deserved that.
Ah, that's great. You disconnected once because you have
Yes,
obviously been
correct.
having connection issues lately. That put you right with that big train behind you, and then one lap later, you've absolutely left them again because you were on new mediums, which was great. Once again, at the start, was it just because you were on the hards, no grip, and that dropped you down the order, or
Yeah, I
was
was a
there an
bit
incident?
cautious as well, so it was the hearts
That's
and
fair.
cautious as well. So I was trying to just be clean in the first lap. So yeah, I let people overtook me, but it was fine. After the end, I know I had much more pace than them, so I could overtake them again.
That's fair. And then obviously, like Adam, you made your way through the field. You love extending a first stint. It's one of your biggest like trademarks, I guess.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
you and Adam were 1-2, and then during all the craziness, you obviously pitted and found you both yourselves in what second and fifth or something, or fourth. No, yeah, second and
Yeah,
fourth
fourth, I
at the
think.
restart.
Yeah, fourth.
You tried
Yeah.
to get past Dello, which was great, and then I kept monitoring the gap between you to the leader. It was 2 seconds, then 2.3, then 2.4 with like half a lap to go. And then suddenly it went up to 2.7, and then Sam's putting you under big pressure into the last corner, and it goes to 3.002.
Yeah.
And then across the line,
I
it
wasn't
was very
even looking
interesting
at the screen
because
anymore because I had Sam behind me, so I was more
exactly
focused on Sam than on what P1 was doing or P2. So
because
yeah.
it was very interesting to see what Sam would do. Would he risk getting more points on you, but potentially losing more points because you're fighting too much? So
Yeah, cool.
it's a very interesting dilemma. But you both just about held on. It could have been a few more points for Sam. Maybe if there was a few tenths more for second, and then again, like you could have got the win. But still, great sportsmanship between you and Adam. Great team pairing. It's so good to see 1-2
Yeah,
for a
it was
team like
perfect.
this. So congratulations to both of you. Welcome back to the podium.
Yes,
And
thanks,
yeah,
man.
your pace lately, your just your results lately have been so good. So keep it up.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, on to P3, Sam. Wow.
yeah,
Well, we have a lot to talk about.
yeah,
So, qualifying right at the end, you have slapped a brilliant lap out of nowhere. It looked like you were struggling throughout qualifying, and then that happened. What?
yeah.
So, how was quali for you?
Tried to go for just 3 laps, one on the mediums, two on the softs. My first soft lap I invalidated, so
Ah, right.
Yeah, my first lap, which was quite low down, I think it was like P9, was on the mediums, and then um
Ah,
my lap was pretty good, and then all of a sudden Stelios sets what was it, like a what, 25-1? No, what was it?
20.7? No,
20,
21.7.
21,
It was
I
nearly
don't know.
4 tenths ahead, but
Yeah.
you started second. Good start
Mhm.
because you took the lead into turn one. Josh nearly had you from starting fourth,
Yeah.
but you held it round the outside because of the momentum. And then you had a pretty strong swapping with him for most laps, just down in on the main straight into
Yeah.
turn one. You both pitted one lap after the other.
Mhm.
Still, the undercut wasn't great around here, so you were still pretty clear. You actually came out ahead of him, actually.
Yeah.
But then you had a big slide exiting turn one.
Yeah.
And was there contact between you two, or?
It said there was contact, but I didn't feel anything. Yeah, I just had super cold tires.
Alright.
Didn't really expect it.
It was a close call, but unfortunately that wasn't the last close call of the race,
Yeah.
because then you were catching Dello on the main straight, and as much as he was holding you up a little, it didn't look too bad. And then on the main straight, he's pulled to the left. You and Josh can just both go past, and I'm focused on Stelios also closing up. And then suddenly I just see a red car and a green car go to the right into the wall. What happened?
I'm alongside Josh. He turns across me. I
Okay then.
lit.
Right,
That's.
we will. I have not seen any replay.
I
I've
have.
not seen any onboards.
Yeah,
But
I've just sent you a clip. As
got it.
them two were talking.
Okay, I'll make sure to look at that in a
Yeah.
minute. But then it looked. What were you feeling in that moment? Were you think the championship's over, or did you
Yeah.
still have hope?
It's no hope at all, really. But I knew Josh had a 3, so I just. You can ask whoever was in that party. I was angry, but
And your emotions when the safety car came out, that must have been
I didn't
the
expect it
best thing.
because it's Qatar
Exactly.
and you don't really
Exactly.
expect it. Yeah. But yeah, because obviously my hards were used and my mediums were used. I had to go on the softs, and they were
That's fair.
on 8% by the end of the safety car, so I didn't expect much. But
Damn.
yeah, at the end of the race, me fighting with a Frosty Life, good battle. I knew everyone had pens.
Yep.
Yeah, the only annoying thing was on the restart, Chubster held me up a bit, which wasn't.
I did just want to ask, what happened under safety? Why did Yonder let both of you go?
I don't know what happened, but I think he just didn't concentrate at the corner and just went wide, and it let me and Chubster past.
Because it kind of looked like one had an illegal overtake, and then one was, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess that was one less car you had to get past. And then, yeah, that was really surprising at the restart that Chubster didn't just let you go. And you really had to burn a lot to get past him.
Yeah, I got past him. Yeah.
Eventually. And then you were on the back of Frosty, who got past Dello. And then that was the really interesting bit. What was Dello going to do? But you kept it clean with him. He kept it clean with you at the hairpin. Good move. Nothing wrong with it. You got past him. And then obviously, yeah, just what was your mindset with the last lap? Because you knew if you fought Frosty too much, you'd lose out on the top two. But again, it's points, and it could be the potential win. So what was your mindset heading into it?
My mindset was don't die, try and score points and get ahead of Josh, really. I didn't really think about it. Obviously, when Della was holding me up, it was smart by him, but it was annoying at the same time, but obviously got past him. Yeah. Fighting with Frosty, I know Frosty's got pace. He's had pace for ages now, but yeah, it was. Oh my God, can my phone stop blowing up? Whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to keep within the 3 second and the penalties they have, and I was just when the final corner, I tried to. I was going to send it, but then Las Vegas kind of I thought I was thinking
Oh,
of Las
right.
Vegas, so I tried to go for a switch back, but it didn't pay off because I had no ARS. But credits to Adam and Frosty for getting a 1-2 for Haas, and hopefully it goes down. But hopefully we can win in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, great respect shown throughout the top three. I just wanted to go back to Frosty real quick. How many warnings did you get that race?
Only 2.
2. And Sam, how many did you get?
2. I was on.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Oh, that just shows how much one warning can make a difference. One little mistake, one tiny error. It's all these fine margins and whatnot. But yeah, wow. Okay, so Haas 1-2, and even after the incident between Josh and Sam, Sam has still managed to beat Josh in that race, third and fourth. Yonder was fifth, kind of close to you guys, but then sixth onwards is like 11 seconds behind. So even if any one of you got a pen, I'm like 99.9% certain this does go to Abu Dhabi, the title fight. And I was saying on the last lap, Frosty, I am not going to shout your name as a reaction this time. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, do you know what happened to Drifting?
It was either two things. He ran into the safety car, which I don't believe, or Dello brake checked him.
Yeah. So I've just seen the clip. Then he's just sent it into the group chat. Dello
I haven't
hard
seen it yet.
brakes onto him. He has to swerve left to not go into Dello and crashes into the safety car.
Oh no.
So yeah.
Because that's so unfortunate. We knew the three of you, Josh, and Drifting would go to the wire, and then Vegas happened, which was the most unbelievable race-changing factor, where it put Josh in a great position. We knew today you and Drifting had to bring your A game, and well, you did. You gave it everything, and Drifting. Even before that, it just looked like he was lacking a little, because you and Josh and Stelios pulled away, and then I don't really see, he was still there. Even after your incident, he was still keeping it alive. But it is really unfortunate to see that end like that. And I'm pretty sure no matter what, Drifting is now unfortunately out of this fight.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
I was gonna say I am a bit sad, annoyed for Drifting because
Yeah. It'll be a long debrief. Gonna have to talk and sort what happened there. But Sam, you have kept it alive, and even after missing a few races compared to Josh entering them all, you have still a shot at becoming world champion. The gap was 19 points heading into
16,
today.
if no pens.
At the moment, it's down to 16. If Josh gets a pen, I'm
Or
pretty
fine.
sure Yonder was close enough. Or if you.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, I don't really think it would. If you're on the inside, how can it be your fault?
I don't know.
I don't know. And plus, we'll have to sort it out. But what I'm saying is, if Josh gets a pen, I think the worst still dropping down to his fifth instead of fourth. So the gap that was 19 will go down to either 16 or 14. And, well, that could also make all the difference, because we could have 2008 all over again. If you win, Josh might need fifth. But if, it's 16 or 14, it might change or whatnot. All I'm saying is, you have to win Abu Dhabi, and Josh has to finish fifth or sixth. And that might be, a long shot. But look at today. Look at the season. Look at the league. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And, I'll say thank you for, still fighting and taking this all the way to the wire. You thoroughly deserve to be in this position. Obviously, I wish it was a few more points. If you did win today, what would it go down to, like 6 points? And then it would be a winner takes all. Damn it, Haas. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, you've still managed to keep it going down to the wire, and I'm sure it'll be a very fascinating one to see the ultimate conclusion to who's going to win. But yeah, congratulations to Haas one more time. Fantastic result for both of you. Well done, Sam.
Thank you.
And we will move on to the finale. Abu Dhabi, one final dance under the night sky on F1 24 to seal out the season with a fight between Josh Hewitt and Sam L. And we'll see who's going to win in 1 week's time.